All right, today's lesson is writing a division expressions, and we're really going to focus on the algebraic way to write them so that we can get them kind of a quicker, simpler way to do it, and kind of the common way, the proper way to do it. Let's start with an example of 1 divided by 2. All right, I'm going to show a model of 1 divided by 2. So this is 1. Here, this whole thing is 1, and we're going to divide it into two pieces. And we're looking at this piece right here. We all know that when you have one thing, like one pizza, let's say, because I like pizza, and you divide that one pizza into two pieces, we each get half. So this is half. This is a way to prove that this is the same thing as that. This is the algebraic way to write it. So when we're writing in expressions, we're going to put it in a fraction looking form. Okay, let's look at example 2. That was example 1. It's just write an expression showing a divided by 2 without the use of the division symbol. So this is our division symbol, and we don't want to use it. We want to write it like this. All right, so let's start by drawing a model. Let's start by drawing a model like we did with this one. So let's make this a, and we're going to divide it in 2. Using the same thing we did here, we're going to substitute in a divided by 2. When you see that fraction symbol, it means divided by. So this means a divided by 2. From now on, when we're writing our expressions with variables, we're not going to write it this way. You may see it that way sometimes, but we're going to know that we're going to write it this way because it's the proper way to write it. Okay? Now, let's put some notes in our ISN that are going to remind us how we do this. What goes where? Okay, we're going to put it in word form. So we're going to have the dividend. Remember, the dividend is always the first number. So we're going to have dividend, first number in the division problem, divided by the divisor. Okay, that reminds us what it looks like. Dividend is here, that's that number. And when we write into a fraction, it's going to look like this. We're going to have the dividend on top, or the first number on top, and the divisor, or the second number, on the bottom. So this is kind of in a fraction form, and this is using that division symbol right here in the middle. Okay, so this one just tells me which one's which, so I have that vocabulary. I know the dividend is first, the divisor is second. And then this shows me if the dividend goes on top, the divisor goes on the bottom when I read it in fraction form. All right, let's look at example 3. This is write an expression showing a divided by b without the use of the division symbol. Okay, so we're going to refer back to this right here. In this example, a is our dividend, b is our divisor. So our dividend goes on top, our divisor goes on the bottom. A divided by b without using the division symbol. All right, this one is a little bit trickier, but this is kind of back where we were writing our expressions. It says write an expression for g divided by the quantity, so it's going to go in parentheses. We know quantity, h plus 3. Okay, if I was going to write that first way with my division symbol, it's going to look like this. G divided by the quantity, h plus 3. Now, the dividend is g, so it's going to go on top. I'm going to move it over here so I can put one on top of the other. The divisor is the quantity, h plus 3. Now, I still need the parentheses, or I don't. If it's on the bottom, I don't necessarily need them. I could have them, and that would be okay, yeah, but I don't necessarily need them. So if I also wrote it this way, that would be okay, because that kind of serves as a, we're going to do what's all on one side, either the top or the bottom first. So if there's nothing to do up here, except just having a G, we're not going to do anything. Down here, there's something to do, So we're going to do what we need to do before we divide. Okay? So either way is correct. The more preferred way is this way. All right, let's do one more here. I'm going to let's see if I can put my note up here at the top. So, you see that? Oh yeah, we can see that. Okay, so I have that little note there that will help me. All right, write an expression for the quotient, and remember, quotient means we're going to divide of the quantity m reduced by 3 and 5. Oh my. Okay, I think I need to look at this a different way. Because the only numbers I have are m, 3, and 5. So I'm not going to reduce it by 3 and 5. I think it's the quotient of something and 5. This and goes with the quotient. Oh, I'm butchering this, I'm sorry. Okay, so I think this part goes together. Sorry, and this is so sloppy, I did not plan for that. And I think the 5 is different. So we have the quotient, so we're going to divide the quantity m reduced by 3. So m reduced by 3 and 5. So the quotient is those two, oops, what's a 5? Wow, I'm butchering this, I'm sorry about that. The quotient of this value, m reduced by 3, and 5. Ooh, see, that is tricky. The only reason I know it is that, and it's not something else, because the 3 and 5 can't go together. I don't know what this and means. It doesn't mean add because there's no sum or add here. All I have is quotient. So if the quotient of 1 and 2 is going to be 1 divided by 2. So this is the quotient of m reduced by 3, that's one number, and 5, that's the second number. Wow. Okay, let's put that in form without the division sign. So m minus 3 divided by 5. Now remember, because there's something to do on the top, we don't need our parentheses. We can have them, but they're just unnecessary. Wow, if you have questions about that, I am so sorry. Please put it in your ISN, and hopefully tomorrow I can make that better. We still have one more example, so don't quit on me now. Okay. To make our lives a little bit easier, and for your lesson that you're going to be doing tomorrow, you're going to need to fill in a little notes. So I gave you today a rectangle that has kind of like a graphic organizer to it. I would like for you to get that now, and we're going to put notes from that in our ISN. All right, let's see. I'm going to choose a bright color here. All right, I'm going to give you one example first. I don't want you to write this in there. I want you to just kind of watch. Okay, so one example has been given. Let me choose a blank one here. Sorry about this. Okay, so here is your example one, and then we're going to fill in the blank one that you have together. Okay, so this one we're going to finish the graphic organizer to kind of fill in each part of what it looks like. They give us 15 divided by 3. All right, so we're going to go up to the top box up here. We're going to start up there. And in word form, this is word form. This is the quotient. You do not have to write this. Please do not write this. Just watch. The quotient of 15 and 3. All in word form. That's what it means. The quotient of 15 and 3. Okay, that's where that and kind of comes in. Okay, if we move over here to the top, this is what we normally would know as a division problem. This is 15 divided by 3. We don't have to solve it, we're just showing what it looks like. And this is in the fraction form that we just talked about, 15 divided by 3. Now I'm going to have you write as we fill in the bottom one down here. Now this one is for any problem that you are going to do. So we're going to glue this into your ISN, and if you don't have glue at home, that's okay. Bring it back tomorrow. We'll glue it in right where your notes have room for it. Okay, so we're going to use the words quotient, divisor, and dividend in this. Okay, so let's start up here in the corner where we were, and we're going to have the quotient. Do write this. Please write this. the quotient of the dividend, that one comes first, and divisor. The quotient of the dividend and the divisor. Excuse me. Okay, so down here we would have dividend divided by divisor. And I have the division symbol there for you. Up here is going to be dividend inside. On the outside is going to be divisor. Dividend divided by divisor. Down here, dividend divided by divisor. Now this is going to be in your ISN, so anytime that you want to know what it looks like or if it says this, what it means, you can figure that out. Okay, again, I'm sorry about that last example. If I confused you in any way, please put that in your ISN as well and bring it to class tomorrow.